Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Diaries. As time went by and the BTS members went their own ways, the ARMY world continued to talk about one couple that continued to capture the hearts of Jimin and Jungkook, better known as Jikook. The two of them, with all their dynamics, have become the center of attention, not only because of their closeness on stage, but also because of the sincere interactions that seem so real behind the scenes. But this time, there was one sweet moment that made the entire fandom silent. A small, gentle and meaningful gesture. An act that seemed to be the last proof of love or even a reminder that love never really goes away. The moment happened in a not-too-fantastic atmosphere. There was no grand concert, no official cameras focused on them. Instead, its beauty lies in its simplicity. At that time, Jimin was attending a special event. Jungkook, who was previously reported to be busy with his solo activities, suddenly appeared. Not in the style of a superstar who wanted to be the center of attention, but in a very personal way. He came quietly, sat among the staff, disguised himself, and only occasionally showed himself. But that's where the power of his gesture lies. When Jimin took the stage, speaking in an emotional voice about the journey, about memories, and about the irreplaceable togetherness, the sharp fans' cameras captured Jungkook's expression from a distance. His eyes never left Jimin. His face stared calmly, but meaningfully, as if every word that came out of Jimin's lips was part of their story together. And when Jimin said one simple sentence, "Thank you for the person who is always there," even without words, the fans immediately felt something deep. Was it intended for Jungkook? But what really touched everyone was after the event was over. When everyone dispersed and the guests began to leave the room, Jungkook was seen walking slowly towards the backstage area. He didn't enter the main room. He just stood in the corner of the hallway, where Jimin would most likely pass by. And sure enough, not long after, Jimin appeared. There was a little surprise on his face when he saw Jungkook. But what happened next really shook the hearts of anyone who saw it. Without many words, they just looked at each other. Jungkook raised his hand, giving a small box containing a small iconic star-shaped pendant that had long been associated with their closeness. Jimin accepted it, bowed for a moment, then smiled, not an ordinary smile, but a smile full of affection, understanding, and perhaps farewell. In that quiet hallway, a simple gesture became a meaning that could not be expressed. Fans who saw the moment, both live and through recordings, immediately flooded social media with feelings of emotion. "Is this a sign that this is the end of Jikook's story?" asked one fan. "Or is it proof that love does not always have to be presented openly?" said another. Some also said that this was not a breakup, but rather a form of mature love that did not need public validation. A quiet, strong, and secretly enduring love that persisted even though the world kept changing. If we look back at Jikook's journey, this gesture is nothing new. From the way Jungkook always watched Jimin from afar, touching his shoulder at times that were not visible to the camera, to the way Jimin always said Jungkook's name at unexpected moments, all of them held layers of emotions that were difficult to explain. But this time it felt different. Maybe because now they were no longer together every day. Maybe because time felt shorter. Or maybe because maturity meant that love no longer had to be displayed loudly. Fans began to reminisce about all their moments, from their first practice video, their backstage pranks, to their trips abroad that looked very intimate. All of that now feels like pieces of a film that are being played again with the background of the small gesture. And with all the emotions that poured out, one thing became clear. Whatever their relationship status, the love was there, and maybe it still is. Jikook has shown that affection doesn't always have to be big and dramatic. Sometimes, the most sincere love appears in silence, in a brief glance, in a small box given without a word, and in a quiet hallway where two hearts meet just to say hello. That's not the end of the story. Maybe it's just a new chapter, where both will continue to walk their own paths, but still carry the memories in their hearts. And for armies who have followed their story, this moment is not just fan service. It's a reflection of what we can all learn, that love in any form should be cherished, that every gesture, no matter how small, has the power to touch, to connect, and to leave a mark on the soul. This is what touched everyone, not because they expected Jikook to be real in the narrow sense, but because they witnessed something rare and honest, respectful, and affectionate relationship that exceeded public expectations. This was a love that was tender, sweet, and eternal. For armies who have grown up with BTS, this moment served as a mirror. Many saw themselves reflected in Jimin and Jungkook, the journey of growing older, of seeing relationships change form but not meaning. The transition from passion to peace, from noise to stillness, from fireworks to soft candlelight. And perhaps that's the beauty of this moment, it allows space for every interpretation. For those who believe in romance, it's the final pas the days passed since that tender moment between Jimin and Jungkook. The buzz within the ARMY community didn't fade, it grew stronger. Fans began to share their own interpretations, creating compilations, theories, and fan-made stories inspired by that hallway exchange. On platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, hashtags like #Jikook Moment, #Silent Gesture, and #ForeverJikook began to trend worldwide. In the end, perhaps that's what makes Jikook's story so enduring. Not because it's perfect, not because it fits any traditional mold, but because it feels true, honest, raw, and real. We wait, we watch, we celebrate what was, and remain open to what could be. We continue to support Jimin and Jungkook individually, knowing that no matter where life takes them, this moment, this gesture has already carved its place in history. And maybe, just maybe, someday in the future, when we least expect it, another quiet gesture will appear. A look, a lyric, a shared smile, and we'll be reminded all over again of a bond that, while unseen, never really disappeared. Because love like that, soft, silent, and sincere, isn't something you forget. So, was this Jikook's final proof of love? Or just one of many gestures of love that will continue to be hidden behind their glittering world? Only time will tell, but for the hearts that witnessed it, this moment was enough. More than enough, and it will always be remembered. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos.